Well, hello there, good sirs.
Hello there.
Or should I say, hello there? Or maybe, hello, boys. Misako Chaja Binks.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it's very weird to be back here again. We haven't done a live stream in quite a while now. So, I hope you guys will be patient with us since English is not our language basically.
It's okay, we'll get through it. So, how's the audio? Can you guys hear us all right?
Yeah, let's see if everyone can hear us alright so we can simply start the discussion and whatnot.
Exactly.
So yeah, and also, what did you guys think about the episode?
Yeah, since you're all here anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we personally, you guys know that we said we were basically done regarding being excited for Star Wars after the Clone Wars, but this is basically the Clone Wars in a way, more like a continuation of it.
Yeah, especially like how the episode started. It was pretty fucking awesome. We'll get to that anyway.
Yeah, we will, but it's very weird, you know.
Yeah, we'll go through the entire episode of the stream and then just read a bunch of comments, and I guess that's about it.
So yeah, feel free to write anything you want. We'll try to get to most of it if we can. And
all right, so since I see people typing and everything's okay, let's just go with it. And so here we go. Here's the Bad Batch. We're starting off. Hold on, before we start off, I'm actually just gonna. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So let's go into it.
Yep.
So we're going to go like this. We're not going to play the actual episode simply because of,
Because of the copyright.
Exactly, because of YouTube.
Yeah, so we're just going to be skipping a few seconds every time.
Pretty much. And just going through the entire episode and just talking about it.
Well, basically, the first thing that came in the episode was the introduction, just like they did in the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
The exact same music. Tom Kane is narrating as he always did, which is awesome. Honestly, we hope he's better. We remember he had a heart attack, if we're not mistaken, last year or something. Something bad happened to that guy. We hope he's better, but it is his narration, and it's really good to hear him again.
Yeah, it's definitely beautiful to hear him again.
It feels like Clone Wars, honestly. And the introduction itself, if you want, you can skip it with the mouse because this skips a bit too much. We have some really awesome recreations of scenes from. Yeah, or play it maybe if you want to.
Yeah, let's go like here and just play it for a couple seconds.
Continue to mount victories on battlefronts across the galaxy. After the Jedi Knights thwarted an attempted kidnapping.
Pause this. Really, really good to see them recreating some things from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, this was beautiful to see, especially in the Clone Wars format. It's pretty awesome.
And the thing is, despite it being very short, like how much? This is about 2 seconds, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
All of us, as Star Wars fans, as prequel fans, as George Lucas fans, know exactly what this scene is when he gets rid of the Magna Guard.
Yes.
And they paid so much detail that they had the vibro staff fall over like it did.
Yes, and then just kind of rotate just slightly if you're looking, if you're paying close attention to, how it dropped to the panel over there.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. Now,
this actually reminded me of a guy who was making the, what's it called, Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan versus Anakin duel on YouTube.
Oh yeah, there is a YouTube channel that is recreating the Mustafar duel in the Clone Wars style.
I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out. So anyway, let's go ahead and skip a few over here. And there we go. This is the start of the episode here. It starts with
Depa Billaba and Caleb Doom. And we have quite a lot to say regarding this. We're gonna shit talk quite a bit. Not really shit talk. We really love this episode, despite our pessimism regarding official Disney canon Star Wars. But the episode was really good, although the very beginning really made a big continuity hole in the whole story regarding Kanan Jarrus and everything, because in the comic book. The Kanan comic book, The Last Padawan, yeah, that's what its name is. This Order 66 played out completely differently.
Yes.
And despite us liking this so much, it's very weird to... I don't understand the logic. Why would they make such a continuity error of such scale, regarding...
All right, so let's go over here and just, go into details and the tad bits of it. So first off, you see the blue lightsaber in the comics. She's actually wielding a green one.
Yeah, that's like the first. It's a minor minor, not really. How are we gonna say it? Maybe they're looking at the comics and the TV series the same way George Lucas's hierarchy of canon was looked at when he was in charge. You know, he had the G canon, the C canon, and you know how it goes. G canon, of course, George Lucas. You know, the most important canon and stuff like that. And that's basically how they measured it. Maybe they're doing the same thing here. Honestly, it's not like we really care, but we were always pissed off that official canon lovers and generally Disney and Lucasfilm were shit talking the expanded universe for having so many continuity errors.
Yeah.
Yet they blatantly forgot about.
Forgot about the entire comic book, pretty much.
Basically, they basically forgot about everything. Let's just skip a bit.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Anyway, the battle is going. Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, let's pause there. Basically, this is Commander Gray. He's supposed to be red. His armor is red in the comics.
Yes.
And, for starters, the minor continuity error we will start off with is he has green armor. In the Order 66 scene, in the comic, he didn't have green armor, he had red armor, and Order 66 didn't happen during a battle. It was basically around the campfire, all of a sudden, you know. And another one is Depa Billaba addresses him as captain instead of commander.
Yes.
Yet when you search up it in Wikipedia, generally he was always a commander ever since the comic book came out.
So I bet one way they're gonna go over this is like they're gonna say he was demoted and then he was given another armor or something like that.
No, the thing is they basically have to pick one at this point.
But the thing is, I really like how they pulled this off, and I prefer it this way during a battle than over a campfire. So this is definitely way more exciting, and it is just done beautifully.
That is true, but the biggest problem is how much they shit talk the EU for being full of continuity errors, and then they made something, this, despite us liking it. And yeah, let's just skip a few more scenes.
All right. Oh, here is Caleb Doom.
Yeah.
Also known as Kanan Jarrus. So the thing I've noticed about him is his voice kind of sounds off. I know the same voice actor is voicing him as he did in the Rebels series, but like here with his young face, it just kind of sounds weird when it just doesn't match up to his face, you know.
In a lot of scenes, it simply sounds out of place, like it's too deep a voice for him. But Freddie Prinze Jr. is voicing him again, which is nice, I guess, because I'm guessing he loves his own character and stuff like that. But yeah, it just seems a bit off, and the animation, I don't know why. He's obviously a male, and for some reason in the animation, at some points, he seemed to look very much childish, despite the voice, like much more than usual. When he's running away from them without the robes, that's what I noticed, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what to think about it. I'm always for seeing more Order 66 scenes.
Now that I'm looking at this picture right now, and one thing I could notice is how Captain's armor here is the only armor that is dirty. And that is pretty cool when you look at the comic book. Their whole unit was wiped out, and this is actually a replacement unit that you're seeing in the background. So notice how everybody is shiny.
Yeah, that is true.
That is pretty cool.
When you basically search it up, the battalion is simply called Depa Billaba's 1st Battalion, I think. And then you have the second one, which is considered this one during the Battle of Collar. That's what it's called. This is the Battle of Collar. So they're technically all shinies, but they paid attention to some things, I guess, or maybe they didn't. Maybe at the same time they were simply aiming at having white clones because
because episode 3 is really close, and it's going to be a reorganization to the Galactic Empire.
yeah,
and
because
it's
they
just,
were going to
you know,
move on to white armor.
They want that Empire tone, so I guess that's why they pulled it off. Like,
yeah, but if that's the reason, it doesn't make too much sense because almost every Clone Legion battalion or corps had colored armor, you know, except for the shinies.
yeah, but then you're looking at it this way: it's pretty much the end of the war, and you know,
It is the end of the war, but the thing is, unless they're, the thing is, if the motivation was to make them look more like clone stormtroopers and moving to the Galactic Empire, then it's kind of a mistake to have shinies here. But if their motivation was to have the replacement battalion of Depa Billaba, then it makes sense for them to be shinies without colored armor. So it really depends on what they were focusing on, but I think it would be the latter because they made a huge continuity error, you know.
yeah,
And I think they're going to have to pick one between the two. You know, it simply cannot work. If we were to make a lore video on Commander Gray, who is here called a captain and has different armor and does executes Order 66 completely differently, we're going to have to simply eliminate the part of the story on color in the comics where Order 66 is executed. Not to mention that Kanan and Depa Billaba also, well, part ways differently. You know, in the comic they fight together for a while until he runs, but over here he's simply told to run before she falls. You know.
yeah.
But still, nonetheless, always great to see.
And what's it called? Order 66 scene, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And now that I think of it, we actually got quite a few of them in the recent time. I think we got like
3.
One in Jedi Fallen Order. The other one is in what's it called?
In the Clone Wars.
Yeah, in the Clone
finale.
Wars, and then finally here we got another one, which is pretty cool. I'm always excited for an Order 66 scene. It's always awesome.
Basically, Order 66 seems like the most interesting part of a point in all of Star Wars. Basically, I would be all for watching 50 different versions of Order 66 for all different, you know, Jedi and clones and everything. It's simply pure entertainment at this point.
All right, let's go ahead and skip a bit to.
Yeah, we're still in the battle scenes or whatever.
So here we go with the Clone Force 99 kicking some ass.
Yeah, which was basically expected. So yeah, they're basically a 5-man army or whatever, and we kind of covered it here already.
Pretty much, yeah.
They leave and
actually, now that I think of it, it's always nice to see Echo.
Oh yeah, you know what's ironic? Since the Clone Wars came out in 2008, I've been watching it since then. It's been the 5th episode of the series was Rookies, which is the first time you see Echo, and basically all of Domino Squad. You know, heavy 5s, cut up, and whatnot. And it's been 13 years, and we're still watching something where you see a member of that same group of clones from the 5th episode of season 1 of the Clone Wars, which is really amazing when you look at it. What they did with a single clone trooper. Although I wouldn't give credit to Disney, maybe simply for greenlighting this project, the Bad Batch, because, well, no matter how many people say that Dave Filoni did his own thing, you know, in the Clone Wars, the original idea for even having the series was George Lucas's, and everything, as far as we know, passed through his hands, and, you know.
Exactly.
So technically, we're still watching George Lucas Star Wars in a way, except that the story here is not George Lucas's at all. It's Dave Filoni's, but we've all learned to trust him much more than anyone else.
Definitely. You know? All right, so this is what we were talking about the childish face.
Yeah, it really looks weird sometimes, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
But when it comes to the Clone Commander, the Commander Gray here, I really do like his green armor much more than the red one, because if you look through the comics, or even the Clone Wars multimedia project, and even the Clone Wars series, there are too many not so unique clone troopers which are all red. Like, you have a lot of them. You have Commander Stone, Thorn, Fox, Thyre, fill, you have even Commander Pawns. They're all colored in red, and we don't have enough of them who are green. This really looks much better than the, let's say, generic Commander Gray version of him in the comic. But still, we would consider the comic in our headcanon along with this. We would just replace this scene. No, not this scene. We would just replace the Order 66 campfire scene with this, in a way, to kind of make it fit.
Yeah. It's definitely possible. It just needs some thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier for us to do it because we're making a single video on these topics, But they made a big mistake for, doing stuff like that there. They easily could have used simply some other Jedi, instead of this and making a continuity error. But okay, nonetheless, an awesome start to the series nonetheless, and I absolutely love it, which even surprises me because I'm pessimistic about Star Wars, thanks to Disney's crap.
Definitely, it really digs you into the episode. All right, let's go forward. And here we go with Order 66. He's running away.
Yeah, well, the Order... He sees the clones shooting Depa Billaba.
Yeah. I mean, if you're all here, you've watched the episode, so...
Yeah, I mean, we put spoiler in the title, so we're hoping none of you are going to blame us for it, because you should have read it.
Definitely. You have been warned, so...
Yeah, when it... over here, he looks really weird. That's where I noticed the most regarding Kanan.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb Doom. But...
And this is really cool how they made it with the, what's it called? The freaking sharpshooter.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Crosshair.
Crosshair, yeah.
We expected it to be kind of generic. I mean, when the idea for the Bad Batch came out, it seemed like a very random spin-off, Like, why would they do something so unimportant or not so interesting, But regarding the first episode, I think they really pulled it off.
Definitely.
And you would really have to be an idiot to not pull it off, because all you had to do is simply make a ton of references for Revenge of the Sith and for the Clone Wars. And that's exactly what this episode did. And what I've noticed with Dave Filoni is he really ties in Rebels, Rogue One, the Clone Wars together very nicely, which I really appreciate. And, well, I'm a fan of his work, but I'm a fan of George's as well. So, and he taught him. So, yeah, Dave Filoni is still the man. Hopefully it stays that way. So, yeah.
All right, here we go.
I think we skipped the Order 66 scene a bit too much. I love the music in it.
Yeah, it's got the Clone Wars music in it, but it's kind of mixed up.
Well, it's a another variation of the Order 66 theme that was seen in the final episodes of the Clone Wars with Ahsoka and Rex.
Yes.
And, I mean, it's originally from Revenge of the Sith. And it's always nice to see that, really. But the thing is, when you look at it, still the Clone Wars did it much, much better. Especially because we're more tied to Captain Rex and Ahsoka.
Definitely.
Especially Rex for me. I absolutely love that clone. A very likable character. And seeing that tear was, kind of heartbreaking. But
yeah,
despite me not being the type to ever cry about fiction,
it's
that one was really emotional, even for me. And I admit it, despite me not doing that stuff ever.
Definitely. That scene was really moving. And you can just tell he's fighting it, but he can't. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And despite this scene being a bit less that good, than the Clone Wars version of it, still absolutely amazing. I love seeing Order 66. And especially seeing never before seen on-screen clone commanders. That's always a great thing. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Hunter basically let him go.
And so it's at that point you can notice that the only one that has an inhibitor chip is
Crosshair.
Crosshair, yeah. Or actually, like how they explained it in the episode is like everybody has has the inhibitor chip, but they're not properly working because of the genetic modifications. And the only chip that is slightly working is Crosshair's, but then they, amp it up, which can be seen in the episode. So we'll go over that as well.
Yeah, but in a way, I've actually noticed in the trailers that Crosshair wasn't mostly with the team the entire time in the trailers, you know. Everyone was there except for him. So they kind of spoiled it in a way over there. But for those who didn't notice it, yeah, I think it's immediately visible when he starts shooting at the kid here.
Yes.
Which is, well, good. And it's a much better choice for the show, if you ask me, than simply having the entire team, you know, defecting from the newly formed Galactic Empire. And
Yeah, that would be good.
this is much more interesting because he knows them, and suddenly he's an enemy to them, which is good. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, let's move on a bit. We've stayed with. Oh yeah, you want to do your part here with Camino? Yeah, we really stayed a lot on the start of the episode, which is kind of one of the best moments, by my opinion at least.
Definitely. All right, so let's go into Camino.
Yeah, we have some V-Wings.
And one thing you notice right off the bat is they want to pull off a darker feel because of, you know, the Galactic Empire forming. And so they always, you know, they pulled off like a darker scene for every episode, every scene on Camino. As you'll see through the entire episode, if you look at it, like even the interior inside Camino is like darker.
Yeah, basically, just imagine Camino being the Republic one day, and the next is suddenly the Empire. And as you can see, the hangar is not white; it's not shiny anymore like it used to be. Just imagine the Kaminoans and the clones painting everything in gray or black or whatever, simply to get the theme right.
They had to change the LEDs as well. All right, here we go.
Yeah, and now this part is really one of the most fun parts in the episode because it's not really hard to pull off. All you had to have is a dead Jedi passing, you know, being carried away, have some shock troopers, and as you guys know, if you've watched one of our latest lore videos, the shock troopers are Emperor Palpatine's, well, Chancellor Palpatine's personal clone troopers in a way, because most of them are cloned and bred on Coruscant, if we're not mistaken, and they're the most loyal soldiers to him of them all regarding the clone troopers.
Yeah, I guess they amped up their inhibitor chips to be like the most loyal, you know.
maybe, yeah.
I guess. I mean, they act that way at
They
least.
were actually loyal to him even without them. Like, generally loyal to him.
Yes.
Regarding the lore. And suddenly you see the change that we have shock troopers on Camino, like, never happened before. So the surprise to these genetically modified clones is really nice to see, because let's face it, we've never seen this on screen ever regarding Star Wars. All we had were the comics, the Dark Times comics, the Purge comics, but we never saw it from a clone's perspective who didn't execute Order 66, which is really fun to see, you know, especially on screen.
Definitely.
And basically all they needed to do was talk about what happened in Revenge of the Sith in their own way, from their own perspective, to make it interesting. Because let's face it, Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Oh, I actually wish that this is Commander Thire, or something like that. But yeah, we'll have to wait because he's currently unnamed. Oh yeah, we just skipped the part about the
about the lightsaber over here.
Yeah, when the dead Jedi passes. Some people have said that it's Shakti, like it's her. Which one? Fourth kind of death.
Yeah.
It's
she really has a lot of ways. You know, she died in. One of them is Force Unleashed. The other one's when General Grievous stabs her. The
deleted scene.
Exactly.
And the also deleted scene from the Jedi Temple, as well, when Anakin stabs her.
Yes. And
someone said that this is her since she was there. But the thing is, if you guys watched all of the Clone Wars, both the Tartakovsky, I think his name is, Clone Wars, she's on Coruscant during the battle, and the same thing is said in the final episodes of the Clone Wars from 2008. So basically, any way you guys put it, she's on Coruscant, and I mean, pick your death if you want. Technically, the deleted scenes, well, some are now considered canon or not, but as you guys know, we don't really care about that at all. So,
yeah, the one I really pick is when she falls into the Sarlacc.
Definitely, because it prolongs the story. Like, You know that Shakti actually, Yoda has a vision of her being stabbed like through the back, on Dagobah in season 6 of the Clone Wars. Like he sees the future of what's going to happen to the Jedi, sort of, but it's not completely accurate. Like some of the scenes never happened, so we simply consider, because technically they consider that she was killed by Anakin in the Jedi Temple. You know, the same way Yoda saw. We simply think of it as being a vision that didn't come true that way. We like to think of it as surviving, because if a character's story can be prolonged, why not?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically our logic of when we do our lore headcanon videos. So we prefer surviving to The Force Unleashed on
Exactly.
Felucia.
And she has some nice finishing lines in Force Unleashed,
Definitely.
which make her death even more.
Yeah, meaningful and
Exactly. And you'll find out
interesting,
soon enough.
And interesting, because honestly, it's not too interesting to simply have all the Jedi killed during,
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith. So
All right, let's go on.
we pick Force Unleashed.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, these corridors are not really darker. Still the same, but
But then again, you can see the shock troopers all over the place.
yeah,
so-
that changes things. That's actually a difference regarding they're not the Camino Guard.
Yes.
They don't have the Camino Guard that much anymore. And also, I think the shade of gray on the floor was actually much darker than it usually was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot to talk about in this episode.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Anyway, what do we have next? Oh yeah, the Crosshairs kind of suspicious of Hunter and doesn't believe that he'll let the Jedi.
Like through the entire episode, he's just slowly defecting into the Empire.
Yeah, and it's very weird because his self-awareness isn't active at all. He doesn't see himself because he would usually love to disobey orders. But here you can see him following them more and more.
Yeah, you can see the inhibitor chip just kind of kicking in. More
Yeah,
and more.
kind of.
Yeah.
At first, when we were watching it, like, was his inhibitor chip completely on? Was it not? Because if it was, he would act like the other clones, completely brainwashed, like Rex did when he got his inhibitor chip.
Exactly. Well, as they
Completely
explained
without
over
emotion. Yeah.
as they explained over here, it was like partially on. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a good explanation. And also the explanation for Echo was, well, it was the speculation that it was going to happen that way, basically.
I thought they were going to say that it was removed, but then again, the explanation that they gave us also works fine. So let's go into details.
Yeah, I actually like the little room that they have.
Yes.
Like, I never knew that clones had a, what would we call this? Is this like a
pretty
apartment?
much a personal space, yeah.
Is this like an apartment? Maybe we have some couches or whatever.
Yes.
Is that a bomb on the table?
I guess it is, yeah.
That's really nice.
That's pretty.
So yeah,
cool.
it's really cool that they have a apartment of their own on Camino with a view.
Well, then again, they are a special unit, so
They are a special unit, but they're not really treated like a special unit too much here, as far as I can see.
I'm pretty sure this is the only privilege that they have.
You think? Although they did say that they weren't for about 180 days. They weren't home in Camino, something like that. But I do believe that their apartment was a bit lighter the last time they were there. They probably also painted it to feel more Empire-ish.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
All right, here we go. The meeting.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. I can't stop smiling when I'm listening to Emperor Palpatine
Yeah.
talking about this.
To Emperor Palpatine buttering the bread.
That's how it feels like. That's like
It's like every time he speaks, he's just like buttering bread.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it feels like to us, especially when we translate it to our language. Like, when you're wiping it all over. and what I've noticed is, when he says secure society, it's like he's out of breath every time when he says it.
Yes.
Especially when you look at Ian McDiarmid in Revenge of the
3,
Sith.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like society. It's not society. It's
Yeah, he's like
society.
he barely gets that out, but it's pretty cool.
Like he's out of breath, and that's what I always loved about it. And it doesn't. Yeah, it's always good to see him there. And their confusion is awesome. Well, we see all the rest of the clones completely all for it, which is where.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that was really nice. And also we saw some regular white ones, and the Camino Guard were there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they're being replaced by the Coruscant Guard mostly. Oh, okay. We've come to this part. Yeah, Omega.
Or Omega, as she says.
Omega, mate. But yeah, she's basically. I mean, was it said in the episode that she's a clone? I don't think it was, but I think it's pretty obvious.
I think that, like, who said it? I'm not sure. I think it was one of the Kaminoans who said that she was the fifth clone.
Oh, when they were talking about
Yes.
the.
Yes.
Yeah, but they never. Yeah, the clone.
They weren't talking about Echo. They were talking about her. So.
Oh, but the thing is, she's a clone. They did say that she was an enhanced
Yes.
clone.
And
Which
Tech actually was the one who said it first, I believe, when she tested her.
Oh.
Was that right?
I'm not really completely sure.
I'm not sure if it was Tech who said it first or the Kaminoans, but still.
But the thing is, when you look at it, I mean, some people would call out Disney now for pushing an agenda, feminism or whatever, all that bullshit. And honestly, we don't agree with that at all in this case. But after all, it is only the first episode, and we dearly hope that this stays true to what the Clone Wars was, without any agenda in it. I would love for it to be completely clean without all the crap.
Yes.
And you guys know us as the Star Wars channel that will call out the bullshit when it's there. We will always call out Disney for all the crap that they do, for all the agendas, but it's not here. Because when you look at it, if all clones are cloned from the DNA of Jango Fett, technically when all of us are in our mother's wombs, we all start off, potentially being female, because males have XY chromosomes and females have XX. So it's not really far-fetched at all that she could be a female clone of Jango Fett, which is an interesting take, honestly. And if you're cloning and basically genetically modifying them, not a stretch at all. I mean, it's something new. We've never seen that before. I think it's going to be interesting, honestly.
Yes.
In a way. Even when you look at it biologically, it's very plausible that it can happen, especially with, the Kaminoans and the genetic engineering.
Exactly.
Despite it being very bad in reality.
All right, let's skip ahead a bit more. Here is Mr. Tarkin.
Oh, yeah, It appears that there are more than one Coruscant Guard commanders or captains when you see it. Because when the Bad Batch came, there was already one with the Poldron. And then now you have another one with...
escorting Tarkin.
So, yeah, I don't think... Maybe one of them is Thyre. Or maybe he's simply on Coruscant. But I'd love to see Thyre in this series. And also all those clone commanders that we've seen before,
I'd love to see Cody.
Cody, definitely. I love to see Wolf, Gregor. Neo Bakara never got much in the Clone Wars, and I definitely think that they would deserve it. And since they're very morbid clones, if you've seen our old videos on them, very new actually from this year, if you know their personalities, they're really built for the Empire. So it would really be cool if we see even some maybe Galactic Marines serving the Galactic Empire.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool.
Bly is also an option.
I would like to see like a new design for the Galactic Marines armor, because they were really nicely designed in the Clone Wars. I would love to see how they look like in the Empire now.
I think that they would look the same at first. Maybe they would simply be...
maybe change colors or something like that. We'll see.
They would probably be maybe white after a year of serving the Empire. Mm-hmm. When they basically turn everyone white. I remember the Purge comics. Yeah, the Purge... I think they were the Purge comics. Or the Dark Times. Not really sure now. You have that Commander Bill,
Mm-hmm.
the replacement for Apple, since Apple dies at Kashyyyk. And I really want them to stay true to the EU regarding this era when it comes to characters. Like, if Appa was killed on Kashyyyk, don't bring him back years after, if this series is based years after that.
Yeah.
If it ends up being based, I mean. And basically, you have Vil in 19 BBY, 18 BBY, he still has 501st Clone Commander armor. And then a few months later, he's completely white and the commander.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really turning into the Empire, and that's probably what they're going to do with a lot of clones here.
You know, now that you say it, I really love what they did with Rogue One by introducing Shore Troopers. Because it was really, like, something the Empire needed, you know. It brought some color into the Empire, you know?
Yeah, that's really true. And when you look at it, at the same time, they could be considered as sand troopers because of the camo or whatever.
Yes.
But
But
Rogue One was really a pleasant surprise to
Yes.
us, despite all the rest of Disney's shitty movies from Star Wars. Rogue One is the one we actually love a lot. Basically, the entire movie, sure, some things could be better or whatever, but what impressed us the most, which is something that the sequels didn't do at all, were the very new designs in the same era with, when A New Hope happens.
Yes.
So many new designs and creativity put into something which they simply could have copied from A New Hope. They didn't have to make up new, like the U-Wing, for example. I love the U-Wing.
Or the Death Troopers or whatever, you know.
Yeah, they didn't have to do all of that, but they made, in the end, they created, was it Death Troopers, Shore Troopers,
And the pilots
Tank
for
Troopers, and you even have the ACT Trooper pilot, like the white version of the Shore Trooper.
Yeah.
So there are about at least 4 or 5 variations of new trooper types in the Empire. Rogue One did that phenomenally. Rebels played on that even more and really gave more depth to the Empire and generally their army, which I absolutely loved. And
Definitely. And there's also one thing that Solo did right was with the Imperial Army.
yeah, they did that. I mean, we don't consider Solo as canon for ourselves, but
It's definitely nice to see the Imperial Army on the
we
screen.
love a lot of concepts from that movie, and we would accept it. Like, there's no reason why the range troopers shouldn't exist in the Imperial Army, and all of those, which is why we use them in our videos as well, because Solo also did a good job regarding the designs for the Empire, like Rogue One did. But the story was, and also the characters, didn't like it. They shouldn't have touched that at all.
All right, let's continue.
Oh yeah.
Here we go with the sad batch.
The episode has a lot of humor in it, which is really nice to see. Like, when these regular clones called him the Sad Batch, that was really, really funny, especially when you look at Wrecker. He really gets triggered on stuff like that. But what we've noticed is, do you guys maybe think that these regular clones in the background here in the, cafeteria, do you guys maybe think that they are shinies, maybe? Because we've noticed in the episode the clones who were already, well, not shinies or whatever, like the Coruscant Guard or the other troopers guarding, they were all very serious and, let's say, aggressive and angry when anyone is, not in line. Yet these guys were joking around, so maybe they never had their inhibitor chips activated because there was no need, because they're new, they're shinies, they're regular clones who've never been in battle or something like that. Maybe they just finished their training, which is why they were joking so much.
Exactly.
So they might be very new clones. So, really fun scene. Didn't put too much. I mean, it's not a serious scene. It was really fun, simply.
Now that you look at it, actually, during the the ARC Troopers and the Cadets episode in the Clone Wars, you can actually see a lot more color in Camino when it comes to the clone units. You can see a lot of units from various,
Yeah.
And over here, now that you're looking at it, there's a lot of just, white clones because all the other units are just, deployed all across the galaxy executing Order 66. So
Yeah, basically.
It's really nice. It's really nice attention to detail.
And it also seems like they immediately stopped with the colored ranks and the colored markings of the battalions and everything. Immediately. Yes. The same way they simply... yeah, that was a funny one. So yeah, anyway, whatever, Echo gets his ass kicked. And I think that was done simply to have AZ3 here.
Yeah.
Just
to bring him back from the Clone Wars, definitely.
Yeah, they basically did it, but it seems like he was definitely reprogrammed after what happened with Fives. Because I'm guessing that he would be aware, in a way, since he was very aware of what was happening with Fives and on his side, in Season 6 of the Clone Wars with the inhibitor chip arc, which was absolutely amazing. And I think that he was simply reprogrammed here because he would definitely know who Echo is if he knew who Fives was. I was hoping for some mention of Fives here because this is kind of a...
I was hoping for Kenobi. Why are you here?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
But it didn't happen simply. It maybe would have been too much... What do you call it? You know, fan... whatever. Can't remember the word.
It's okay. It's not the first time, and it's certainly not the last. So let's go for it.
Oh yes.
Here we go with the shock troopers again.
Yeah, I just love seeing that pole drawn. And what I've noticed with since Clone Wars started with Phase 2 armor, and since Disney took over, they simply just put the pole drawn on. It's a very simple thing. It really doesn't serve anything at all. But when you look at Rex's pole drawn, it's not the same as these, let's say, discount pole drawns.
Yeah.
It seems very different. It's not the same design completely like that. They just pull it over their heads and that's it.
Yeah,
that's what
Rex
it feels
has got
like.
Rex has got the premium account. That's
yeah,
why he's got all the
basically
good stuff.
Rex and Wolf and the other command, well, let's say veteran commanders. They seem like it's a different armor piece, you know, and it's part of his armor simply. But this is just like pulled on over, like the
It's well put together.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for the training scene.
Oh yeah, they also changed the colors here quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not way back. Like what was it with Cadets episode? I believe.
Yeah.
It was a lot brighter. It was like a bright, what's it called? Bright gray.
Yeah, very, very.
And now it's a lot darker, man.
Well, you know,
the lights are different and the color as well. So.
Well, they paid a lot of attention, but it's something I think anyone would do to that to make it feel more Empire-ish.
Definitely.
But
now that I mention it, like it really reminds me of when Ezra is training with the Empire in Rebels. There's one, you remember that episode?
Yeah, it does. But for some reason, this seems even darker.
Even darker, yes. In Rebels, it was a bit brighter.
So yeah. Basically, when you look at it, the Empire seems the darkest when it started. Did you think? Like the Imperial Army kind of gets more watered down as the years go by, leading to Zero BBY, where the Stormtroopers are a joke.
Yeah.
In a way. So I technically think that this is one of the darkest eras of the Empire, like the Dark Times era.
Pretty much, like at the very beginning.
At the first few years, basically, until they completely turned into Stormtroopers, like with the Phase 3 armor that they call the Stormtrooper armor.
Exactly.
So yeah. Anyway, what was interesting here and kind of expected was for Tarkin to be a dick, because that's what he does. He's a huge dick.
Yes.
And that's what he's been doing even in the Clone Wars, even to the ones that helped him and saved his life at the Citadel arc, for example, like Ahsoka, and then he was a dick to her in Season 5 when she supposedly committed murder, but she didn't, and stuff like that. So he basically turns on them, trying, live fire. Is that what they did?
Yes.
Yeah, instead of...
Live rounds instead of simulation rounds, yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting, but I would have expected him to be a bit more mad because of it. But it definitely shows that the Empire is a bit more dark. Anyway, just go back a bit. Are these Dark Troopers? What do you guys think?
Maybe like a pre-version of the Dark Troopers, I believe.
It probably is a pre. And the design of it is very similar to the Phase 2 Dark Trooper. So if they are a type of Dark Trooper, I don't know how we would, combine them in our old Dark Troopers video.
Well, the thing is, how do you know they're Dark Troopers? It's when the dubstep starts playing. That's when you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really.
By the way, I really love this knife and what they did with it.
Yeah, definitely. But what I really loved about this scene here is when the knife goes into, let's call it a Dark Trooper or a pre-version of the Dark Trooper, whatever. Let's call it that. When the knife goes into his head, the exact same sound emits from him, like when he's going down, as from the Purge Trooper in the Force Unleashed 1 game. Like every time you hit him with Force Lightning as Galen Merrick, the Purge Troopers, the 2-meter one, completely droid ones, if I remember, they fire those missiles from their...
yeah, I know. From the back.
Yeah, from the back. Basically, the exact same sound is... Maybe this is the type of Purge Trooper. It would actually even be better if it's a pre-version of the Purge Trooper seen in the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, it's like a test version, and then they perfect them all the way up to Force Unleashed.
Yeah. I actually like...
And here's Tarkin again. Like, after all that training, he just walks out of there like a complete dickhead.
Well, that's what he is. That's
Exactly.
what he's supposed to do. Especially with the English accent.
Yes, with the posh English.
You're actually a bigger dick if you talk that way. So yeah, I think this is where we hear about the enhanced clones.
Yes.
Not meaning Echo. Yeah, that's what we already mentioned. So yeah.
So this is the scene when they're mad because of the live fire. And then he gives them a mission.
Yeah, Wrecker is probably one of the funniest clones here, actually. Like, he has some cringe one-liners, especially in this scene here. Just go back a bit. He went to the new Imperial Armory, you know.
Yes.
Because he loves explosives, weapons, and it's like, he cried seeing it. It's simple but effective, especially since he's a bit stupid and tough. So, and if I remember correctly, George Lucas specifically wanted to create the Bad Batch and make them be a cliche of everything, basically. Hunter being Rambo, Tech being the nerd, Wrecker being the muscle of the group, and of course you have the sniper with the toothpick, like a Russian Slav, whatever.
Exactly. You know, now that I look at this pauldron, it really reminds me of what's it called? Yeah, Darth Barris, right?
Yeah,
he's got pauldrons that go down like that.
Yeah, on both sides. Yeah, definitely. And a lot of Sith, a lot of Inquisitors, if I remember, in the Sith Academy on Korriban, when you start with the Sith Warrior or Inquisitor, a lot of them have similar armor pieces on their shoulders in Star Wars: The Old Republic MMORPG.
And when you look at that, it really reminds me of Judgment armor from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it actually does in a way. I don't know if you guys play World of Warcraft, but we're huge fans, and yeah, check out a World of Warcraft channel. We do all videos there and some Lego World of Warcraft stuff, so yeah, you'll see what we mean regarding... Just type in Paladin Judgment armor, and you'll see what we mean regarding the shoulder pieces, if you haven't already.
And now that we're looking at the shuttle, yet again, there's no nose art of Padme, which is really sad.
Yeah, the only thing that I would basically change from Season 7 of the Clone Wars, and generally, maybe just have it for the Clone Wars, is have Padme Amidala art on it, like it originally was supposed to be. But on the other hand, it wouldn't be logical if they had it here. Then it would be good to see the Empire force them to take it off, because they're trying to take all the colors off of everything.
Pretty much.
And the nose art. That would be very effective for storytelling.
They want everything to be uniform, just like in the movies.
So if I was to change anything, despite how much I love the Clone Wars overall completely, I would add the nose art of Padme.
Yeah.
And also, of course, I would remake the other unfinished episodes, because Season 7 was kind of a waste, since we've already seen the Bad Batch unfinished episodes. The Martez sisters. Martez sisters was kind of a filler arc in a way. It wasn't that interesting.
It was a waste.
It's not bad, but it's a waste when you only have 12 episodes.
Yes. So taking 4 episodes out of that 12 is just, If
they did a regular 22, no problem with the Martez arc. Just a bit less interesting, but it could have been replaced with the Utapau one.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Like, I would take the Utapau arc, over those 4 episodes anytime.
True.
And also, one more thing about this shuttle actually reminds me of the shuttle that Emperor uses in Episode 3.
Yeah, definitely. His personal one with Captain Kagi, or whatever.
Exactly.
Kagi. I actually thought... You know what he says? Tell Captain Kagi to prepare the shuttle. in Revenge of the Sith. I always thought that he said, as a kid, did he call Captain Cody? That's what I actually thought. Like maybe it was just kind of off. He said the name a bit off, like instead of Cody, Kogi, whatever. It just felt that way to me, but a completely different character.
You are fulfilling your destiny. All right, let's go. Come on, and here we go. Space Vietnam.
Oh, it's Onderon. And
Yes.
the thing is, every time I see Onderon, I think of Knights of the Old Republic 2. Because that's the first time I ever saw Onderon in my life, basically. Or even heard of it. It seemed like a discount Alderaan, but it's not. And then I was very surprised and happy to see it in Season 5 when they introduced Saw Gerrera for the first time in the Clone Wars. So this is a really good payback to the Clone Wars once again.
And plus, they're using clone weapons, so that's really cool.
Yeah, gotta love that. And we have a mixed version of Saw Gerrera, like a bit older, looking more like Forrest Whitaker's version of him.
Yeah, but not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet. So it's a nice transition to
And
his
hey-
younger self.
He's still in one piece.
Yeah, he's still in one piece. And do you guys know that Saw Gerrera was created by George Lucas, like way back before the Clone Wars even came out? He was planning on, if I'm not mistaken, making a live action series called Star Wars Underworld.
Yes.
And
that was
Saw
canceled.
Gerrera was generally in his mind for a long time, thinking of him as being the original rebel. And in the end, I don't know why or how, he ended up making his first appearance in the Clone Wars as the original rebel, because technically there were Onderonian rebels rebelling against the separatists at the same time, and not wanting to join the Republic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was really fun and interesting to see rebels in the Clone Wars era overall.
Exactly.
So yeah, and honestly, since Rogue One, Lucasfilm under Disney really did a good job with Saw Gerrera. Every single appearance, I loved it. I mean, as you guys know, when we say we're mixing the expanded universe and canon in our videos, we only mean Rogue One, Star Wars Rebels, Jedi Fallen Order, Season 7 of the Clone Wars, since that is the only canon, version of the Clone Wars.
And now, hopefully, this show.
And
as well.
hopefully this. We will, and maybe a few comics here and there, but we're hoping the best for the Bad Batch. Rest of the series, we don't really care about it. We don't want to get our hopes up. But so far, this episode was great. And I hope it stays that way. I hope it stays non-woke, which would be really good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it at this point. Yeah, like just keep it. Just don't make it woke, and everything's gonna be fine.
Exactly. I just like to sit back and watch it,
And enjoy. Yeah.
without having to worry that it's gonna be,
Even despite the huge continuity error at the beginning, we can get past that. Pick the version of it we like the most. No
Exactly.
problem. Who cares? Just enjoy it as entertainment. But just don't get it woke, please. Don't get it woke. So yeah, overall here, if you guys watched it,
Now let's
we
go
should-
ahead and skip.
yeah, we already got to that. Basically, they didn't fulfill the mission or whatever,
Yeah, the probe droid saw it, and
and now they're screwed.
pretty
So,
much.
yeah. Oh, there's an interesting thing here in this scene. They went to the Bad Batch's, quarters, right? And just skip it a bit if we get to it exactly at the same point that I'm thinking about. When they were coming out, they came upon a shock trooper commander or captain or whatever.
Yeah, here we go.
lieutenant. What was really, good to see and very surprising is when the droid touched him, he immediately got out his blaster, and
Yeah, shot the droid with the stun
yeah, that was really Empire-like.
behavior. Yeah.
So it's very visible that these guys are still under the conditioning of the inhibitor chip, definitely. No personality at all, simply mindless.
Mindless following of orders. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, basically that. So that really makes the contrast between them and the clones in the cafeteria, who were simply joking around,
Exactly.
which are probably shinies who never even had contact with Jedi, especially not Order 66, because there was no need to.
Exactly. So now that when they get back to Camino, it's actually even darker this time.
Yeah, this time it's even darker. And I mean, they very easily could have simply came during the daytime,
Exactly.
but this was obviously done on purpose to even make it more Empire like the Dark
Because now
Times
they're coming
era.
back and it's even worse. That's what they wanted to say with this scene.
And in the Clone Wars, every time it was daytime, if you remember, on Camino, every single time.
Yes. And now you're going to look at it again when they open up the hangar. Even the hangar is dark, like, you know.
Yeah, then we all expected an ambush here or whatever. They
Exactly.
get caught. Yeah, and since Tarkin noticed that Crosshair was the
most obedient out of the batch.
Yeah, they took him, and that's what we find out specifically what happened to his inhibitor chip,
Exactly.
and that they could, which is, a lot of people don't like the inhibitor chip stuff. Like, I remember a lot of EU fans don't like it. We're EU fans ourselves, but to us, we never could believe that the clones would simply turn on their Jedi friends. Like, when we started watching the Clone Wars and got into the EU generally while watching the Clone Wars as kids, like 12, 13 years ago, next to the movies, we never experienced anything else except for a few games. Then we got deeper into it, and it felt not very real to believe that the clones would simply turn on them by an order, to turn on their friends because of a simple order like that, so drastically.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to even the most programmed beings, especially if the beings are friends with someone for years, fighting alongside, being saved by them and everything, comrades in arms or whatever. So the inhibitor chip was always something I kind of believed, like some type of programming, and then it happened in season 6. They basically George
Explained
Lucas
everything, yeah.
explained it in the Clone Wars that it was actually that, and it really makes it better if you ask me, because you think of them as good soldiers, as good human beings, and then they do something horrific like that, which is irrational completely. It's completely irrational on every psychological level unless someone is programmed completely, which is what it basically happened there. So it's a very good explanation, and I prefer it much more because it's simply better. You want the clones to be the good guys, but they're actually the biggest victims of them all here. They're not themselves, so Star Wars is really deep.
Yeah.
Really deep.
All right.
That's what I love about it.
The one thing I've joked about in this scene is, like, what's her name? Omega, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Omega here is like a small character in Lego Star Wars that you use to fit under, small spaces.
Yeah. When you're stuck somewhere in some cell or whatever, in the Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, or the Clone Wars as well, you always have that Ewok or Jawa character or some smaller character that can go through the vent system or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, she's that here. And of course, you have the muscle, which is Wrecker.
Which is Rika.
Okay, anyway, they're escaping. We know it's going to be the final action sequence of the episode. It was really, really, I don't know if I would call it cute, but it's really cute that Wrecker has a...
He's got a teddy bear.
Yeah, something like that, because he basically is a huge teddy bear that likes to blow up stuff. Very good comic relief with his character. So, yeah. Now the ambush is, not an ambush, but
All right, so not only did they change the inhibitor chip setting in Crosshair, they actually managed to paint his armor in the short time as well.
yeah, actually, did they paint it? I don't actually see the
Oh yeah, it's actually different armor. It doesn't have the shoulder piece that it used to have sticking out.
yeah, it's actually a different one. So they gave him a new one, basically. But it's really Empire-like.
Exactly. Just like the Death Troopers, but even like...
And
we'll see where this leads. Hopefully they have like an
he has-
entire team.
Yeah,
of
they
the new-
do. We've seen it in the
Yeah,
trailer.
right.
And what I like about it is, first, I was very curious. We always, as you guys know, we're suckers for making all trooper types videos. Like, we're gonna make a all Bad Batch trooper types video for season 1, definitely. Unless if they are new that we've never seen before. And this seems like a covert ops clone trooper to me, the armor, and especially the guys that were with him in the trailer. If you, although the difference is the covert ops in the expanded universe, they basically are they hunt rogue clone troopers during the Republic era. I mean, reign of the Republic during the Clone Wars. They basically hunt down clone troopers that have defected and everything, and it seems that Crosshair is gonna be doing the same thing now to his former friends, alongside a team of covert ops troopers. And what I like about it is the difference in the armor. It can be considered as the purple variant of it that's in the EU can be considered as a Clone Wars variant, and this is a slightly darker version of it, more grey. As you can see, it's a bit more grey, and instead of having the purple visor, now it has a green visor. Let's just say that it's artistically a bit more darker and Empire-like. So it could be a updated version of the Covert Ops ones from the EU, which are during the Clone Wars, which I really like. So, yeah, very excited to see more of them, definitely.
Oh, he's got some thermals over here.
Yeah, he always has that. So they basically had a custom helmet, the same type that he used, just for a Covert Ops trooper. Although when you look at it, he has a backpack, and the Covert Ops don't have backpacks. Yet his armor is almost completely the same, with the same capabilities, except for the shoulder pad, if we're not mistaken.
Pretty much, yeah. Although, I guess,
he doesn't have it.
Exactly.
He doesn't have it. It all reminds us of the Death Troopers a bit. Oh, and what we really noticed here is the Empire is making demands on the galaxy, like, for example, with the Kaminoans here.
Yes.
To do this, to do that, and you can already see the doubt in their minds of what they have done. They have basically made a deal with the devil, in other words, which is Darth Sidious, which even George Lucas said that he is the devil of the Star Wars universe, in a way, or in the movies, or whatever you want to call it, because you can't have a awesome story about a chosen one and a hero without a supreme evil that they have to fight and face.
You know, every time I look at these Kaminoans, I always think, like, what would it be like to cut off their head with a lightsaber, you know, at the very thinnest part?
Same here. And, yeah, same with Yarrow Poof. You know that guy from Yarrow Poof, the Jedi Master. Everyone mixes him up with the Kaminoan as being a Kaminoan Jedi, especially in our video. Everyone has the unique Jedi, the one-of-a-kind Jedi list that we did, like 4 years ago. Everyone says that he's a Kaminoan Jedi. He's a Quirmarian or something like that. That's what it's called. Yet about 1,000 comments are all that we made a mistake, but we didn't. We check our lore. So yeah, they basically escape and everything, and honestly, a very good start for season 1.
Exactly.
A very good start. I'm very happy with it. It's about 75 minutes long. So yeah, as you can see, it says created by Dave Filoni.
You know, I really wish every episode was like 75 minutes.
Definitely.
You know, you could just sit back and enjoy it. It's like a small movie every week, I guess. But no, it's going to be 20, I guess.
Yeah. And actually, I think I heard it's going to be 30.
I would certainly hope so.
And they're going to be 16 episodes, and the next one is on the 7th of May, which is in 3 days' time. On Friday, basically. Yeah. It's on Friday. And then it's going to be every week, like it used to be back in the day with the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So what we see here is it says created by Dave Filoni. I'm fine with that. I liked literally everything Dave Filoni has done so far, except for The Mandalorian. That was a bit meh to me, in a way. Like I enjoyed it, but it's still a bit too meh for a live action.
Definitely.
Like this episode to me is 10 times better than The Mandalorian as a whole. Honestly, the era is more suitable for my purposes. Let's say, more enjoyable to me.
Season 1 of The Mandalorian was definitely a lot more boring than season 2. Season 2 really pulled it off with bringing back all the characters and just, you know, the old references, and that's what really made it special for me, at least.
Same here, but the thing is that's very weak for a series if you need a legacy characters for making the series be interesting,
Yeah.
So
All right, let's go through some comments and then we'll just end this, right?
yeah, it's about 2 a.m.
It doesn't
in
matter what
Serbia,
time it is. We'll pull this through.
And we're probably gonna be doing a live stream tomorrow night. Well, our time. It's 2 a.m. here.
So it's going to be today. Today for us, tomorrow for you. Let's just say it like that.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing another one, and we're gonna try and invite as much of you guys as we can into the live stream.
Is it much or many?
As many. Sorry. Like we said, English is not our first language, so
It's okay.
So yeah, we're gonna try and invite as many of you as we can tomorrow, and simply make it a fun live stream for everyone. And we'll try to get as many of you as we can to have a nice chat and simply have fun. And with that said, before we go through the comments or whatever, just wanna mention that we're planning on doing a charity live stream this month, and hopefully we'll be doing it every month. For some reason we feel like we're not doing anything that matters, and we want to do something nice for the kids here in our country. If you guys know, we live in Serbia, and basically over here, well, just like in the rest of the world, not everything is going great regarding a lot of things. People send SMS messages to give money to children who need help, and when I mean help, I mean a $2 million cure for something or whatever.
Yeah.
While the government doesn't give a shit.
It's mostly for surgeries and stuff like that, or cancer treatments, or yeah.
And the government, of course, doesn't give a shit, but they do. You know how it goes. It's probably the same with everywhere. And we simply want to do something good and make it charity, and we're gonna try and raise $1,000. I think that'll be a start, and everything's going to them because, we want to do something that actually matters here. And we're gonna try and make it as fun as possible, get as many people as we can to participate, and do something that actually matters, as Cartman says
in South Park.
In South Park, like you can play outside, but you can sit on your computer and do something that matters.
And that's exactly what we'll do over here. We'll sit on our computer and do something that matters.
Yeah, so you can guys expect that, which I think would be a really...
Yeah, I guess we're going to pull it off at probably the end of the month.
Yeah, probably. We're just going to have to get more organized, and we're going to try and do many more live streams because we haven't done a lot in the past few months.
And plus it's going to bring up, content for you guys to watch and, us to chill. And
and I don't know if you guys have noticed, we are having a huge dry streak, since this year started.
Yes.
At this point,
ever since that happened to Gina Carano, it's just been
it's been a nightmare for having a YouTube Star Wars.
It has
YouTube
been
channel.
a bad year.
At this point, we're basically barely making meets end to pay the bills, barely. Yeah. But we're still okay, and we're gonna continue whatever happens, even if we have to get a real job. No, seriously, we're gonna continue, and as you can see, the views not really going well, but it's okay. We're still here, and we're not going anywhere. We're gonna try our best. So yeah. Anyway, let's see.
I'm pretty sure Star Wars Theory is the only one who's doing good with the views.
Yeah, it seems that way, but
I've checked out some of the channels, and they've, it's the same deal, just like with us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through some comments. Let's see what we have over here.
Yeah, let's see if you guys have any questions. Now's the time, because now we're going through the comments. We did our evaluation of the Bad Batch. Also, let us know if
as
you
we
liked
said, just kind of finalize it a bit. The episode was good, and it's a really nice start for the season. And hopefully they just keep it like this and just keep it going and not include any woke stuff, and we're going to be good.
Basically, all they have to do is focus on the story and the characters and forget about their identity politics bullshit.
Yes.
That's all they Basically, they just have to do what Star Wars used to be for 40 years. That's all they have to do. Focus on the characters, be in the Star Wars galaxy. Forget about real life. Forget about activism and all that bullshit.
Yes.
Today, just focus on your job, and it's gonna be okay, I think.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the exact problem that we've had with Star Wars for the past few years, especially with the Woke Republic. I mean, High Republic. The very high. Okay, anyway, let's see. Where do you think the story is going? Dark Trooper story. Well, that depends. What do you mean regarding the Dark Trooper story?
Probably the Mandalorian, yeah?
I'm guessing the Mandalorian, or maybe he's talking about the supposed Dark Trooper variant that we thought that we've seen in the episode, or maybe it's a Purge Trooper when the clones were fighting.
Well,
I'm not
now
sure.
that we're talking about the Mandalorian, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of the Dark Troopers. I think like what they had just wasted everything, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Not wasted everything. The word I was about to use was kill off every Dark Trooper that they had.
Yeah.
So if they have more, that would be nice to see in the Mandalorian. But then again, we will see what. I don't know where the story's gonna go. To be honest, like it's got a kind of a nice ending to it. And
You mean Mandalorian?
yes,
Well, honestly, I think they killed the series
yeah,
with what they did to Gina. I think they basically killed their series now, despite it not being the main character. And it... because of two reasons, basically. First off, it finished the story, sort of,
yes.
There's no need for it to...
There was a nice ending to it. Like there's no need to go on.
There's
Like
no need
Grogu's gonna go over there into the academy and train. Mandalorian is gonna go back to his ways. I mean, the only thing they can do right now is make Shea Vizsla. Was it Shea Vizsla?
Shea Vizsla.
No, not Shea Vizsla. What's her name? Fuck me.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Yeah. So Bo-Katan fight the Mandalorian for the Darksaber. That's all they can do.
Well, not all they can do. I think they can pull something out of their asses, but
Yeah, I guess like
if they did that, I think it's pretty...
6 episodes of fillers of him just going off,
Like the first season.
side questing.
First season is basically filler episodes of side questing
Yes.
on random stuff.
That's what I'm on about. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if they pulled off another season, then it's going to be, like, 60 or 70% of the season is going to be, like, a filler, and then the 30% is going to be an actual story, up until season 4, if they actually decide to go with season 4. And then in season 4, they're going to do something like season 2, and actually make it nice.
I hope so. And, okay, anyway, he meant the Dark Trooper connection. Do you think that they're gonna make it connection in the Bad Batch?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe they're going to show the development process of the Dark Troopers, and then, like, at one point have the Dark Troopers attack them. And when they beat that batch, another batch shows up, but it's, like, different. And, they're testing the new Dark Troopers up until they perfect them all the way to Mandalorian, so.
You know what I think would be really good? Having the Phase Zero Dark Trooper. Maybe the droids that they were fighting on Camino here were Purge Troopers, especially because of the exact same sound it makes like the Force Unleashed Purge Trooper. But, yeah. It makes the exact same sound, so I'm guessing it might be a Purge Trooper, like a pre-version of it. But, as you know, the Phase Zero Dark Troopers, those are the ones we see in Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefront 2. Actually,
Yeah.
Battlefront 1 and 2,
The gray ones with the jetpack.
the grey ones with the jetpack, like the cybernetically modified clone troopers. But they're still, they're still not droids.
Mhm.
Get it? So I think we might see them, and I think that would be a very good callback to, well, us expanded universe fans. And generally, when mixing it with the EU continuity, it'll make sense for it to happen in the first few years of the reign of the Galactic Empire, which I'd love to see. But, that's all just wishful thinking for someone who likes to mix
Yes.
all of the EU and canon, and parts of canon like this. So it's just wishful thinking, but I hope it happens. Let's see what else we have from the
You are
canon.
fulfilling your destiny.
I hope
Young
so.
Skywalker.
Well, my name is Luke, so yeah. Anyway, do you think there's any remote chance of Cal Kestis ever showing up, even if it's just a small cameo? Really hoping so, since they do go to Braca. Wait,
Do they?
I remember.
Actually, I think they do in the trailer, right?
The thing is that Braca. That's the thing.
We will find out.
Yeah, that's
As
the place.
Anakin said, I would certainly like to. I would really like to see Kel Kestis.
Yeah, maybe just like maybe he would
What do you guys think J19 means in the episode?
Oh yeah, I'd love to
Where do you think they're going? Is it Rex? Is it Braca? Is it Hondo?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking maybe Hondo, or what connection did the Bad Batch have to anyone? I really have no idea. Maybe it's something completely new.
We will see.
Let's see. What could it be? Could it be Wolf, Gregor, Rex, other random clone troopers, someone we haven't seen before? Maybe simply creating new characters.
Well, we're gonna find out in 3 days. So,
But I doubt it's gonna be. I doubt it's gonna be a clone. Like they're already surprised what is happening, so I doubt they know any clones who also defected with them.
exactly. So I think it's gonna be
Maybe
either a Jedi or a Hondo or something like that.
What if it's the Fennec Shand?
Maybe.
Maybe. Although I wouldn't like it to,
I would really like to see Hondo again.
I'm always for Hondo because
Definitely.
we're pirates.
He's definitely an amazing character.
Yeah, we gotta do a lore video on Hondo. There's so many jokes in it. Like my favorite thing about Hondo is I smell profit.
Split the treasure. All right.
What did he say then? Like,
It's a classic. That's what he said.
oh yeah, split the treasure. Oh, it's a classic. Like it's a joke.
Exactly.
And wherever he smells profit, it's Hondo's awesome. Honestly, I just made a post yesterday or 2 days ago about I was reading going through some comic books on my phone. Just I download them onto my phone and simply read them before bedtime or whatever. I was going through the Star Wars Invasion comics, which is basically when the Yuuzhan Vong War starts 25 years after the Battle of Yavin. As I always say, non-canon to me, but I love the EU nonetheless, even that era a lot. Very interesting stuff. And there's this, just go to the community tab, you can see the image. There's Hondo Wanaka there, and, well, it's not Hondo. You have creatures who are being Vong spawned by the Yuuzhan Vong, basically mutated, and you have this guy who looks completely like Hondo, 25 years after the Battle of Yavin. Very, I mean, it's very weird, but it's not Hondo, obviously, or maybe it's just an Easter egg, because the comic did come out in 2010, which means Hondo has existed since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice,
Yeah, maybe somebody who loved Hondo just stuck him in there in that group.
Yeah, like why not? He's probably waiting for a Skywalker to rescue him because he smells profit or whatever. Oh yeah, Hondo Naka equals Star Wars Jack Sparrow. Oh, gotta love Jack. Basically, our friendship in primary school, like since grade 1, we had the same interest of loving Pirates of the Caribbean as kids, me and Todd. So that's where it all started, and just got into Star Wars, went to all the grades together, same school, and, still best friends for about, how much has it been? 17 years, I think it's been now.
Has it been that long, huh?
Shit. Okay, let's see. J19 is a reference to Seleucami. Cutler Quain, that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would really be awesome. I'd love to see Cutler Quain. This series has a lot of opportunities to give us some insight on some characters we've only seen once throughout the Clone Wars. Like, what happened to them. I'd love to see that regarding any of them. Any clone trooper, like anything. Even the bounty hunters, maybe. But Hondo. Gotta love Hondo. That's definitely.
And there's also some room for Boba Fett here as well, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Because technically, even though the unfinished seasons of the Clone Wars weren't really released, we do have some footage of what happened, sort of, like the Bounty Hunter arc. So it means that Boba Fett did escape the prison on Coruscant. And I just started laughing for no reason.
Yeah, it's because of the prison.
Prison. I said prison. As I said, English is not my language.
It's okay.
So it's prison. It's not prison. It's prison.
And as I said at the beginning, it's not the first time, and it's certainly not the last. All right.
Yeah.
So what else do we have here in the comments?
let's see. Just gonna have to scroll through it a bit more. Just give me a sec. Someone mentioned Scar Squadron. That's a. It's not. It's like a. Is it Squad 99? Is it? I think it's called like that. It's like an Empire thing. It's from the new canon. I guess it's okay. I kind of enjoy that in a way, but I do mix EU and canon, but it doesn't apply too much for the comics. Maybe some of them that I like the Vader ones, but not all of them. So I'm not too much into it all because I'm very picky regarding canon. I just like the shows and one movie and one game basically. So yeah, I don't know what's, but it's a nice reference to the Bad Batch since it's Common Force 99. And then in the Empire have a Special Forces unit with also called 99.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna cut it here.
yeah, it's quite late. We're really tired, and we'll see you in a live stream tomorrow night, basically in about 24 hours, minus a few.
Yeah, plus minus. It all depends. I think we're gonna start a bit earlier, about 10 our time, so it's gonna be
About 4 or 5 or 6.
2 hours earlier than this live stream, I guess. So
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed our stream. And yeah, this is about it. And God bless you all, and thank you very much for being here with us and supporting the channel because we need it more than ever, basically. So yeah, we're gonna try and make this a regular thing. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next live stream. And we also hope to see you in our charity live stream in a few weeks when we get all organized and try and do something good with our lives, if possible.
definitely.
Because that's the whole point of existing, basically.
All right, guys. You have a good night, and may the 4th be with you.
Yep.
We'll see you at Revenge of the 5th.
Basically.